Today we're going to talk about
balancing roles.
Not like Hawaiian roles.
No, because I can balance a few of those. Balancing multiple roles. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Balancing multiple roles.
I like to say that I wear a lot of different hats. And I have to change those hats regularly. And trying to figure out which hat should be worn when and how long. That is what today is all about.
Yeah, I love it. I find that throughout the day, I am a mom, a chef, a maid, a taxi driver, or no, I'm sorry, a chauffeur because I don't get paid or tipped, a wife, a tutor, a teacher, a event planner, social media creator, a writer, a ATM machine, videographer, all of these. That's only that's like 15 things already. I find that I play all of these roles in one day, and it can be exhausting sometimes. Which is why I really have to lean into prioritizing. Prioritizing has kept me from going crazy at times because I have said yes to so many things and put too much on my plate. I start volunteering more. I start doing all these things beyond my household. And so I've definitely at a point have pulled back and learn how to say no because I can't carry on more roles than I already have.
We talked a little bit about scheduling and how both of us use our calendars to kind of set our schedule up and allow for a, I don't even know.
Kind of like if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist.
That's right.
Mentality.
Yep. Making the calendar the thing that shows what our priorities are. So if it's important, it's going to be on the calendar. But when I was trying to get life organized many, many years ago, I would have this great big calendar that showed me the full month at a time because I couldn't do it one day or just weekly. That was the struggle for me to just see 1 week at a time. So I've changed to using a big calendar, and I do that on my phone as well now. But what it allowed me to do was look at the full calendar and figure out what I needed to do each day and not overwhelm myself. So for example, if I have a dentist appointment, I know that I can't fill up my schedule too much because I'm already overwhelmed enough as it is on that day.
Yeah.
So it's looking at the calendar and letting that help me set a good schedule weekly, monthly, so that I'm not too overwhelmed with all of the other stuff I have going on. But yes, like you, I'm a yes person. Hard to say no, especially if we think we're going to help people. So we use our calendars to help us say no. So that calendar is kind of crucial.
I think I agree. I definitely agree. And I wouldn't know how at this point to not use a calendar to schedule, to balance all of the activities in our lives that ultimately go back to balancing our roles. But yeah, do you use a physical calendar or do you use your phone calendar?
I still like to use a paper one, but I don't anymore because then I'm doing things twice. But just I like that I have it on my phone, but also on my iPads. Because on my phone, I can check really quick, but on my iPad, it's nice and big, and I can see the full month at a time. And the other thing I do with mine is I use the Google Calendar, and I color code certain things. That way I can look and see if I have too much of a particular color on my schedule. So, for example, I put volunteering time as red, which I like to volunteer. But if I look at a week and see that it is full of red, then I need to step back a little bit from that the next week and make sure I'm not overcommitting to volunteer time. And losing out on time with my family.
Agree.
So one of the ways I use my calendar to say no to a little bit more is if somebody says, hey, can you do this? And they ask me to volunteer for something or, I don't know, something that maybe feels like it could be a little overwhelming to what I have going on already. I will say, let me check my calendar and get back to you.
It's definitely a guide to balance me because we often have said yes so many times and we get so overwhelmed, and that really does affect our other roles that we play. And we want to be the best that we can in the top roles that we play daily, right? So we don't want to take away from anything, but we really have to balance our roles. How do you balance your roles in your life? How do you say no to things? How do you say yes to things? And how do you keep track and make sure that you're keeping the top roles that you play as a mom or a dad in check? We want to hear from you. Cheers, guys. Good evening.